Hello everybody, I am here and I'm going to work on my Grungy World Book Encyclopedia Journal. So what I've done so far is I have, just to recap I guess, I have reinforced the spine. I pulled off, there were some fly sheets here and I pulled them off to use them. So when I reinforce the spine, there's a piece of Tyvek in there and then there's a piece of file folder so it didn't look so white. I have coffee stains, some lace that I put on here on both ends as tuck spots, but then you can also see them. I have made a hidden spine that I'm going to sew the two signatures into. It's going to be a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. It's going to be a floating hidden spine, and then I'm going to glue it on like that once I have sewn in the signatures. And this is what I have so far for signatures. So I took those two fly sheets and I just glued them to some file folder. And both of these file folders have been cut down and reinforced on the back with some Tim Holtz fabric tape. And on the inside, I reinforced this one with cheesecloth, coffee dyed cheesecloth. And I reinforced this one with washi tape. I wasn't completely satisfied with the washi tape, which is why I went to the cheesecloth on the second one. But I like it now. All right, so the signatures I have so far are, this is some baking paper, and there is a skeleton leaf sewn in between the baking paper, and this is a leftover piece of Tracy Fox digital that I found in my stash. So I'm just trying to make this kind of a stash buster grungy journal. So some graph paper. This is some of that jelly plate that I did the other day. The book pages in here are all from a signature that came with the cover from the World Book. My bubble printing, jelly printing. And these I had to reinforce also. I reinforced them on the outside with some chart paper and on the inside with some washi tape because they were super old and fragile. This is an old piece of spruced up watercolor dyed paper, some jelly print. I really like the offset of some of those papers. This is a jelly print, and then I went back and I added some distressed, it's Tim Holtz Distressed Texture Paste Translucent, and for this part here I colored it with some acrylic copper, and I'm really happy with how that came out. And this is just swashes of the Payne's gray, no, I lie, this is black gesso, and that's some of that cheap gold acrylic paint. And oh, that's the center. Yep, center. Haven't sewed in yet. More of that, and then these are just the other sides of those papers. Okay, so that's the first signature, and that's going to wind up getting sewn in right there. And then here's the second signature, also covered with the World Book, also file folder. So this is a piece of an old piece of jelly printed page that I found in my stash that has some leaf images on it, and I backed it with some painting cover paper, and I just threw some scraps on the edge and on that edge, and I like the way that came out. And it's very similar to the first signature in terms of what types of papers I have included. The jelly plates are obviously different. The World Book pages I have backed. And this is interesting. So this is that same clear texture paste. But once it was clear and I needed to have it stand out, so I put on two types of gilding paste. I rubbed on some patina, gilder's wax patina, and some verdigris. Ooh, that's not closed properly. And I just rubbed it on the surface. And there's actually a little bit right here that's just clear. So yeah, I thought that looked cool. And here is the center of this. And yeah, so those are the two signatures so far. So what I'm actually going to work on next, because I'm kind of at a loss as to what I actually want to do next with these signatures. I'm going to put the signatures aside and let them think about themselves for a minute. And I decided that I want to do a closure on the front with these. These are metal self-locking closures that I found off on Amazon. They're, you know, antique style, but not actually antique. And I'm going to put them on here. And so what I did is that this is just a piece of scrap paper. And I traced this edge onto the back here so that that pattern kind of matches. And then I just kind of measured the width and the length. So I want to make some of these pieces because I absolutely didn't want to cover up the word world book. I don't want to put anything lacy over the back because the spine has this really cool patina and original. You can see all the original stuff. So I wanted to leave that there. So I'm going to put one of these here, one of these here, and then I'm going to do a long one on the back for this one. So it'll wrap around and close. And I can leave it long enough so that it will allow for future gator mouth. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use brads to hold it down. And then I'm just going to glue that on. So I need to first cut two of these. And I have some fabric paper here. So I'm just going to cut off. Maybe I'll cut it this strip. I'm going to cut a strip off of this way because I need some length for the back one. So this is, I'm just going to make a mark here. And then I will take my long ruler. How long is that? That is just under 3. I'm actually going to mark it at 3, and that way I leave myself a little room. And I'm going to need 2 lengths of it. 1, 2, leave some more lengths. Mark it 3 here. And I'm just going to cut out a piece so it's less unwieldy. So this is called Craftex, K-R-A-F-T. Just like the macaroni song, K-R-A-F-T. Craftex. EX. And it's paper. I think it's sometimes called vegan leather because it behaves very much like leather or fabric, but it's made out of paper, so it's vegan, which I appreciate. So I'm going to put that aside for a sec. Come on. And it's really nice and thick. It's really nice. You can sew it. Let's try that side a bit. You can see that where I made marks for my last project. Okay. So now I need to trace 2 of these. So I'll do one coming in from here. Yeah, and it's really quite nice to work with. I need a pencil that works. It's been sharpened. Here we go. It's very nice to work with. You can poke holes in it easily. It sews beautifully. I don't have a fancy sewing machine. what do I have? I have turning around to look. I think it's just a Kenmore. It's an old Kenmore that I inherited when my mother-in-law moved and didn't want any anymore. So my simple little Kenmore handles it just fine. Like even multiple layers. Whoops, I didn't do that very well. So I'm just going to cut those out, and those are going to be my fronts. Use my smaller scissors because see how nicely it cuts? It just feels in your hand between the scissors. It feels like I'm just concentrating. Have you ever watched a little kid, like a preschooler, cut? When you teach a preschooler how to cut, you say, open, shut, open, shut. That's the way we cut, cut, cut. And you can watch their mouths open and shut at the same time as their scissors. It's very cute. I was just kind of doing that. Okay. So back to the craft techs. Gail Augustinelli was part of their design team for a while, and she has some design team projects on her channel. And I think that's where I originally heard about it, was from her. And I really like it. It's an excellent product. The other thing I've bought and I bought it on Etsy. I've also bought it on Amazon. There we go. The other product that I like to work with sometimes is waxed canvas. And there's some Etsy stores that sell waxed canvas. And I haven't used those too much in journals. I think I made one bee journal that has long since sold from that. But I've also made lunch bags for the family out of it. And actually use my sewing machine to sew something other than paper. Okay, so this is going to go here. This is going to go here. I'm not really pleased with how this one translated. I think I might just look at this here. Ugh, yeah, that did not translate well. Did this one translate well? That one's okay. I'm just going to retrace this directly onto here and tidy that up a smidge, because I would like it to be as close as possible to a match. Oh, that's better. There we go. I'll just rub that off. There we go. All right, that makes me happier. Okay, so now this is gonna go like that. There is kind of a right side and the wrong side, so this is a little bit rougher and this is a little bit smoother. You can decide for yourself, I think, which one is preferred, but there's a slight difference. I'm just going to rub off that little mark. Won't matter, it's going to be covered by metal. Okay, remember that. So I think the first thing I'll do is I will take this edge and I will attach that here, and I will attach this one here, like that. And I think I will use some glue, and I will use some, this is Fabri-Tac, and then I will poke holes. I'm not going to use a ton of glue. The brads will suffice to hold it, I'm sure. But I feel like this is just extra security, because once it's down, it is down forever. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that like that. Get some little clamps there for a minute while I do the next. I'm just going to rub a little Fabri-Tac on the back here. I need to order more Fabri-Tac. It's my last unopened bottle. Okay, clamp. Oh, shoot. I meant to get some bigger clampy things. Totally forgot. My husband was just at Lowe's, too. I knew there was something, but I couldn't think of what it was. All right, so this is the first one, right? I totally lost track. All right, so I also have a jar of brads. I suppose we should pick out some brads. There are a bunch of different sizes. I think this medium size. So I'm going to look more for size than I am for matching metal. Because it's a grungy journal and it doesn't have to be matching metal. Okay, so that's a big one. That's the right size. That's a big one, big one. I guess it wasn't as good an idea as I thought it was originally to throw all of these in together. I'll get some for the other side out right now as well. I'm running low on that medium size. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'll just work with those for now, and then I'll worry about the others later. I suppose I could use the bigger ones too. Okay, so I'm just going to poke some holes. Oops, pushing the glue right off there. Let me get a book to push into. That's better. There. There. And then I could probably make it bigger from the back side. There we go. And poke that through. Oh, you know what? The smaller size might even do, but that's okay. So I'm just going to, these are essentially, I mean, they are kind of holding the metal to the fabric paper, which is good, but they're not going to be holding the whole thing to the book. I'm going to be relying on the glue to hold the whole thing to the book because I don't want to punch through the book. Split the little legs there. Here's another one. Split the little legs there. Oh, that's really shiny. That's okay. You know what? I can always go over it with some alcohol ink if I want to add some patina. Maybe I'll do that. All right. Where are my alcohol inks? Okie dokie. Here we go. So this one works well. I've got verdigris and I have got turquoise. I think I'm going to go with these two. Oh, I don't have enough desk space. Hold on. And I need my little thingy here. And these you really do have to shake. They have a little ball. And you gotta, the ball gets kind of stuck in the sediments at the bottom. So you gotta wait until you hear the little balls rolling around in there. And I'm just gonna, it takes a very little tiny bit for this to work. Just a drop. Because we're doing a very tiny little, and I'll just give it a little mix. And then I'm going to just go around. It just gives it a little bit of a distressed age look. There we go. And then I could even give it a smoosh. There we go. So that's not too much. All right. Let's, oh, you know what? I want some, I forgot I wanted to put some in here. You know, I can put the really big ones. You can use the big ones for, because it's not actually holding anything down, but it might look cool. So 1, 2, 3 super big ones. And where's my awl? And I'm going to have it kind of try to mimic and line up with the ones on the middle. So you can angle the little legs appropriately so they don't stick out side of your piece. And I'll just give those a little bit of a brush as well. Maybe around the edges more than anything else. There we go. There we go. So that's one. And that will, let's see. This has to meet up like that. So that's going to go like that. Can you see that on my screen? Like that. Sorry. Okay. So that's going to go like that. I'm going to make the second one. You can also, I wonder if I should have crumpled. I probably should have. Should have distressed this a little bit. Do I have let me grab a little bit of a brush and some walnut stain. And in its crumpled up bits form, I just want to go over some of these creases to bring them out. And that gives it a more worn and well-used look. There we go. So let me do that with this before I get all the pieces together. That was walnut stain again. Okay. Oh, that worked good. Impatience pays off for once. There we go. There we go. Good. Glad I remembered to do that. Okay, so let us brad this one up. I have 3 brads here. One, 2, 3. And I'll put the brads in like so. One, 2. So we're bringing our excuse me, our son up to college on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. And I'm really happy for him, as I told a friend, but oh, it's very hard to watch him go. He's totally ready. He's going to do he's going to have a great time. He's going to have adventures. He's very independent and has good judgment and all those things. But my baby boy, I'm a little freaked out that he's leaving. Ugh, it's amazing how you can hold all those thoughts in the same moment. And then he and his friend bought a sailboat last summer, and they've kept it at a different spot all summer long because they've been racing in this other harbor just the next town over. And so he was going to go to school, and we were going to, take it for a little vacation ourselves. It's supposed to rain all next week. I'm so bummed. I don't know, maybe we'll just do some day sales on it. Oh dear. And then like school is happening imminently. I've got to go in tonight to do a freshman welcome to the freshman kind of a thing. And which is fine. We've had a great summer. It's time to book. I've got a really good feeling about that the year is going to be great. It's just, I feel like all these big transitions are happening all at once. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's that one. So then I'm just going to do basically the same thing for the back side. I'm just going to, the piece that I work with is just going to be longer. It's just going to have the claspy bit on it. So I think what I'll do is, instead of making this a really long video, I will end this once I get this on the front, and then I will do the back side, and I will come back and show you, because it's the same exact process. Okay, and I will grunge those up a little bit, patina them up a little bit. So those patinas are Vintage, V-I-N-T-A-G, by Ranger. Patinas. V-I-N-T-A-G. And I'm sure I got them from Amazon or Etsy. I've had them for a really long time. Okay, and then I think I need to vintage these ones up a little bit too. You can get, I have, these work with alcohol, like alcohol inks. You can also get a thinner, this is a glaze, a matte glaze. And this, if you want, you can put a little bit in there and it will also work as a thinner. If it starts to feel like it's drying up before you can get it spread. I'll put a little bit into the well, and you can mix it right in. This is also vintage, V-I-N-T-A-G, matte metal sealer and patina extender. It's also by Ranger. This comes in glossy and matte, so if you want to buy it, and you appreciate the look of matte over gloss, pay attention to which one you are purchasing. I think the first time I did it, I accidentally bought the gloss. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to put these aside to dry for just a moment. Well, no, I'm not. I need these out. It dries really pretty quick, which is, you know, good at that. Okay, put the book away, bring the actual book in. Okay, so this is going to be here, but I do need this to judge where to go, because I want this to be, this is going to be attached to another piece of paper, of fabric paper, but I need it to be resting against the cover. You don't want it to be off the cover like that, because that'll flap and wiggle. So when you lock it in place, you want the metal bit to be resting on the cover. So that will go just like that. So I'm going to just glue it down. Flip that off. And I'm going to glue that bit down first. It's as simple as that. And then when you make the piece for the back, the important bit is going to be remembering to make it long enough so that it will allow for future in growth of the journal. So if it becomes a bit of an alligator mouth, which they tend to do. Okay, and I am and again, I'm using Fabri-Tac. I'm just going to work that down, and I can always go back if I've missed some bits. I find that the Fabri-Tac will work on the brads, the legs of the brads as well. Looks like I need a little bit more in here. right there. And right here. All right. So then I'm just going to do the same thing for the bottom and on the back, and I will come back and show you when I'm done. Okay, hello. I'm back. I just had some lunch while this dried, and it's done. So this is what you had seen before with the front. So what I did was very similar on the back. I traced the pattern from the metal piece so it would be echoed in the back here. I distressed it with walnut stain. Kind of wish I had sewn it. I totally forgot about sewing it, but that's okay because it's fine as it is. And I like that you can still see how naturally aged and distressed the book cover is. And then I have left plenty. Oh, and on the back of this, I put little dots of the same material because the little legs of the brads were showing, and I was worried that they would get, you know, caught on things. And it just looked a little bit more finished. So yeah, so now that lines up like that, and it slides through. And as the book grows from my work and from whoever purchases it, it will eventually hold everything together. So I'm happy with how that came together. All right, well, thank you. That's all I have for now. I'm going to work on signatures and ephemera next. I have some tea-dyed lace and stuff that I might add, and I have to figure out what my next steps are. So again, thanks for joining me. If you wouldn't mind, could you click like, click the subscribe, and say hello, leave a comment. Hope you're having a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.